Welcome to WiseTake DFS Podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I'm joined here by Patio Joe, WiseTake regular. You can find him on Twitter at Patio Joe Ref, R-E-F. Joe, how we doing tonight, man?
We're doing well. I figured that we should wear matching blue shirts and put our hats back. So, I did that. So I'm ready for tomorrow's slate. I'm doing pretty good. I went light today. I had some work to do, and we got a new car. The family got a new car, so we were kind of checking that out, a new Jeep Grand Cherokee. So we're happy about that. And that's what's going on today. I did have a couple lineups, and they might min cash, but nothing big. But I didn't even play that much money anyway, so it's not that big a deal.
Oh, good. So you got what you were playing for today. Like you had something in mind. You were just trying to play for fun, and you did okay. So you succeeded.
Yeah.
Man, I've been working on this stuff, on the site and everything like that all day, man. This is like our 20th take, and like that's something that just doesn't happen. Like, oh my gosh, but like, wow. If I say something that I'm not supposed to say, forgive me. I'm warning you in advance. Joe will tell you I'm just out of it right now. So. With that said, you ready to talk some baseball?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we got I think 12 games total, 6 and 6. We're gonna cover the early slate because anytime there's 5 games or more, we do cover the early slate. Plus, there's only 6 at night, and it would just be too quick. So, let's get started. We got Carlos Martinez of the St. Louis Cardinals visiting Aaron Nola of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah. So Carlos Martinez, he was probably going to be my cash game pitcher. For tomorrow, he's got, I wrote down his Sierra in June is 2.88. He's been pretty damn hot. He's coming off of a couple performances that were just spectacular. He had 49 points his last start at Baltimore, and then he had a complete game against the same Philly in St. Louis, and he had 70 points, 31 before that, and then 58 against the Dodgers. So he's been pretty damn consistent, nothing below 30 almost the entire year. So I love that. And as for the other side, Aaron Nola is somebody I'm going to want to target with my lefty bats. So guys like Carpenter, Fowler. I also like a guy like Tommy Pham tomorrow. He is on fire. I don't know if anybody has noticed this, but checking out his scores the last few days, his salary is only $3,000, but he had 2 home runs tonight, 37 points. He had 25 points yesterday, and then before that it was a 0, then a 9, and a 28. So the guy's heating up. He's playing in a good park. Nola doesn't scare me. So yeah, that would be my plan for this game. I like to stack the Cardinals. The lefty bats and Pham and Martinez is probably good for both cash and GPP.
Yeah, man. I think obviously Carlos Martinez is he's your, like you said. I don't think you got to look too far for cash games. I think he's your guy. He's been super consistent, and plus the Phillies are only projected for 3.9 runs. I don't like picking on Nola all that much. Don't get me wrong. You make a great point with the lefties. You really only want to attack him with lefties. And listen, this ballpark has not been well for him. Like, he's a young kid with a lot of talent, but this ballpark is just, it's tough to pitch in Philly. He's a guy that I'm more interested in on the road. Although his Ks are up at home, his WOBA's numbers are bad. So it's like he either strikes out or he gives up a home run. So I do think that one-offs would be the way to go against Nola. I'm not too big on a stack. But like you said, I'm playing a Matt Carpenter one-off or even a Fowler or something like that just to get a lefty, because just playing off of the fact that this ballpark is small and the weather's nice. And plus, not to mention, if Nola, for any reason, if he walks a lot of people, whatever the case is, then you're going to see this bullpen. But the problem with the Cardinals is they really only have 2 left-handed bats unless they play Garcia, and I think they played him today, so they don't seem to play him too often. Maybe they'll play him again, but there's a lot of righties on this Cardinals team. But I agree with you. If you're gonna go here, you want to stay with the lefties. This kid Nola. All right, we got Jose Quintana, the lefty from the Chicago White Sox, visiting Nick Turley of the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, so this is the game that I'm really looking forward to. Um, the temperature is they're expecting rain, precipitation 44%. Um, I would definitely follow that. It seems like the wind's going to be blowing in. It doesn't really bother me. It's only 9 miles an hour. What I like is the Vegas run total for the Sox is 5.2 runs. They're going up against Nick Turley, who's pretty damn bad. And the White Sox are the number one team in WOBA against lefties. So it seems like everything is matching up at the right time. So the guys you want probably, all the righty bats, almost anyone from 1 to 6 in any order would be great. Cabrera, Anderson, Abreu, Garcia, Frazier, Davidson, stuff like that. And on the other side, I don't mind picking on Quintana. He doesn't scare me at all. His WOBA is against righties is 344. So guys like Sano, he play him. Escobar just crushes lefties right now. In the month of June, his WOBA is over 500. Dozier you like, so you can have that stack. This is a great game stack. This is a great double stack game. Wendy's double stack, if I call it. And like I said, it's raining though, so definitely watch the weather. But if the weather's good, and even if it's going to get a little bit of just a delay, and you think they're going to get it in, play it, because you don't care about any of the pitchers, but you want the bats. So as long as the bats play, do it.
Yeah, man, I'm totally with you. Both of these teams are they can go extremely right-handed. Quintana, man, the Twins have just been too hot offensively. Sano hit another home run today. Brian Dozier got it going. And they're just too hot offensively. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. If there's weather, you want to pay attention. You want to make sure it's not going to get postponed. But as long as it's not going to get postponed, we want to be all over these bats in the early slate. Sure.
Yeah, and here's another thing is game theory wise is tomorrow you have to be thinking there's not very many pitching options, so people might want to flock to Coors, right, thinking that Coors is going to be plentiful, and it probably will be, but I think that this game can compete with it. Yeah. So if you want to get contrarian, and I don't think the ownership is going to be too through the roof because you do have Coors.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a great point. All right, we got Marcus Stroman of the Toronto Blue Jays visiting Martin Perez, the lefty from the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, so Martin Perez is a guy you always want to target, and the thing about it is every time I seem to target him, he always it doesn't seem to work out the way we want it. Like, he should get crushed. You should stack Bautista, Donaldson, Smoke, or Morales, and they should all hit home runs against this guy. And for some reason, he'll still be in there in the 6th inning, and it will drive you crazy. But the numbers point towards you need to target him. I mean, he's a 347 WOBA against righties. His Sierra just totally is 490. So just in general, I like those bats that I mentioned. If for other reasons, let's see, on the other side, Stroman is a guy that I like. He's definitely a good pitcher in a seasonal. I just don't know tomorrow if that lineup with the temperature being 85 degrees, sort of humid, wind blowing out, sort of 7 miles an hour. I don't know. I just don't know if I really would want to play him. Definitely not in cash. In GBP, it'd be okay. I just don't see somewhat of the strikeout upside on this game. But he is very tough against lefties. So their best hitters are lefties. So if you want to take a stab at him in GPPs, I wouldn't be totally opposed to it. He's only 9K. So, yeah, I definitely have him down on my list, but he's like 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk. GPP only, of course, with this total in this heat. But I'm with it, man. The Rangers can strike out. I mean, they've been swinging the bats pretty well for the most part, but we've seen them, man. They could strike out a ton. And really, like, it's funny because we always love to play the lefties they have. They got 4 lefties that everybody loves to play, right? Gallo, Odor, Mazzara, and Chu. Mm-hmm. But in between there's a lot of righties that can strike out. And to be honest, these lefties can strike out. So as much as I don't get me wrong, I certainly think the Ranger bats are attractive. But in this game, to be honest, if I had to pick a side, I prefer Toronto just because after Perez, at least you have to, Toronto's bullpen's a little bit better. than the Rangers. So it's like either way, like if I was gonna pick a side, it'd be Toronto. So I'm not opposed to Stroman either. I mean, we want to research tomorrow, see what lineup they put out, but yeah, I think that makes sense for sure.
I mean, Stroman's WOBA against lefties is 284, so that's pretty darn low.
Right. What's that?
So
This year?
yeah, this year. So just this year, it's 284. So it's not. He's very tough on lefties. So take a look at him.
Yeah, for sure. Ivan Nova of the Pittsburgh Pirates visiting Chase Anderson of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, I think Ivan Nova is another guy that I'm interested in tomorrow. I think the best bats for Milwaukee are Thames and Shaw. Those are the bats that really scare me, the lefty bats. And just like Stroman, Nova's WOBA against lefties is 295, so he's pretty tough on lefties. He's a ground ball pitcher, and I know he's not sexy and he might not strike out a whole bunch, but he's 8,500, so he's going to allow you to get some bats in that you'd want. I like him pretty much just as much as Stroman. And on the other side, Anderson has reverse splits against righties. He has a 397 WOBA against righties this year. So the righty bats on the Pirates, I don't mind. McCutchen, who is very hot right now, and Harrison. Let me see. McCutchen right now, he's 3,900. He's a little expensive, but he had 9 points today, but coming off a 37, 28, 0, 18, and 18, 3, 40, and 12. So he's pretty hot right now. So McCutchen's a guy that I'm going to look at tomorrow, maybe even just as a one-off. I don't know if I would stack the Pirates, but because Anderson has some bad reverse splits, I would definitely maybe look at McCutchen or Harrison.
Yeah, man, I'm not too big on the Pirates just because Chase Anderson, man, I have the worst luck with that guy. Like he's been just good enough in certain spots to screw me, and I think he's pitching pretty well this year. I don't know what's up with him, but like if you look at his career numbers, yeah, he's a guy that I used to enjoy targeting people against him. But and you're right about the reverse splits for sure. Even if you look at his numbers over the last 2 years at home, it's the same thing: 335 over to righty, 307 to lefty. So he's got reverse splits. So I guess I don't mind the Pirates so much just because, like, I don't want to take Anderson against the Pirates because the Pirates don't strike out enough. And on the same time, I think you made a great point about Nova. I think Nova could be a sneaky tournament play. He doesn't have, like, tremendous K upside, but if in the right matchup, he can. And this is a situation with the Brewers where they have a seriously high strikeout rate, and they only have 3 lefties in their lineup. So if he can navigate his way around Sogard, Thames, and Shaw, at least the rest of the guys are right-handed, and all these guys can strike out. So I think that's a pretty. I think Nova could be a sneaky play on a 6-game slate. I think Nova could definitely be interesting for sure.
Because you got Stroman at almost around the same price.
Right.
So there's nobody else really lower than Nova that I would go to tomorrow anyway. So that's as low as I would go.
Right. All right, let's see. We got Zach Godley of the Arizona Diamondbacks visiting Antonio Senzatella of the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, the run total in this is over. It's over 10.5. It's right around 10.5, or actually it's right around 11.5. So, yeah, my thing is that if the run total is over 10.5, I like to stack the game. If I'm going to have 3 teams, one of them is going to be a stack of this game, and I'm just going to go. I would probably then at that point I would just pick Nova and then see what kind of a game stack I would have at this game. But Senzatella is a guy that has pitched oddly decent at home. The Rockies they've tried to get pitchers that throw a lot of fastballs and sliders that it doesn't need to break as much. And Godley is a pitcher that I believe his curveball is not one of his best pitches. So I guess if you want to fade the game, I'm not opposed to it. I just think that fade at your own risk because it could go off tonight. I mean, Arizona put up 14 runs at least right now. It could even put up more. So one-offs. The thing is that they're pretty pricey. And so one-offs, maybe small mini stacks at the bottom of the lineup, something like that. Get creative. It's fine. Maybe if you want to get just a piece of this game, I don't mind it.
Yeah, you really got me thinking when you were talking, and as you were talking, I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I'm scrolling through here all the games and all the players and all the prices, and to be honest, I'm starting to think that a full on core stack, like a full Rocky stack or full Arizona stack, or somehow if you can figure out a way to game stack that's going to be pretty contrarian because there's
Mhm.
no cheap pitcher that everybody's going to love to play. Like usually you can kind of pinpoint, okay, so the guys that want to stack cores, they're not going to play Martinez, but they're going to play this guy. And it's
Mhm.
like, is that guy Nova? Is Nova that guy at 85? That's still not that cheap.
I think there's one guy we just haven't talked about. I think.
Oh yeah, coming up. Is that
Yeah,
it?
I
Okay.
think so.
So let's get to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
David Paulino of the Houston Astros visiting Jesse Hahn of the Oakland Athletics the last game of the early slate.
David rhymes with Baldino. Paulino. That's right. And it's not even so much that I love him. I don't really know much about him. He's got a 5.03 ERA. But the thing is that he's going up against an A's team that strike out a lot. So if strikeouts are the name of the game, I don't hate it. It's almost like if you're gonna do that stack, it's like the other night I had it was Martez. And me and Paulie D, we were talking about how we wanted to, even if he just got his 20 or 25, 26, and he gets the win, it's everything else. You're relying more on your bats at that point. So, and I wound up cashing in that game because he only got 25 or 26. He still was 4x. So Paulino's 7.4. He's a minus 134 total. Um, he's facing Jesse Hahn, and these Astro hitters, they can just mash. So I don't see a reason why not to attack this lineup in GPPs. Obviously, I would not stack this in cash. I would not play Paulino in cash. If you're playing DK, I'm not 100% sure on his price, but I would probably suspect that he's a good SP2 option. Jesse Hahn, he has a 449 Sierra, 325 Woba versus lefties. He's really tough on righties, but the Astros really hit righties. So it depends on, if he's, it depends on basically, does he get laid tonight? You know what I mean? Or is he having a good morning? Who knows? So, I think that this game is another sneaky one because people will want to go other places. The Astros have a 5.4 run total. So, yeah, check it out. It's the lefty bats. Reddick, I like. McCann, I like. Marwin Gonzalez, of course. And then you can play all the other big bats, too, if you want. Mm.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
being like I could see one of the Houston stacks with one of the core teams being actually contrarian, just because of the fact that maybe people can't they're
Mm.
anyway. So what's interesting though. I'm with you on the Houston. And Paulino is certainly an option, but I was started thinking back, and it kind of makes me. I think I might like have a little bit more interest in Nola now, to be honest with you. Just
Nova or
Nola,
Nola?
Nola.
Aaron Nola. Okay.
Yeah, because the kid's got some stuff. Now I know he hasn't exactly shown it, and this is not a good ballpark. It's just pure tournament dart. But he himself at home over the last 2 years has a K per nine over 9. So at least he has his own upside. Like it's up to him. Like you're not necessarily relying on the Cardinals to get it done, but you're relying on him to get it done. Whereas playing like you said, Polino, you're more relying on the A's being bad than you are on Polino doing well. Because the A, like the only you just mentioned, like I think most of us, we don't know much about him. He's young, but we know it's the A's, and we see Mike Fears is shutting down the A's tonight. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it made me like in the beginning I didn't like Nola at all, but after going through the slate, and when you were talking about cores and how they were expensive, and Martinez and Stroman, they're all still pretty expensive. You can't really fit all the guys. Made me think. I was like, Nola at 7-7, man. People might not play him. He's a big underdog. So they might just, I don't want to pick on the Cardinals. But he's got talent.
Yeah, I mean, I think his last start he faced, I think, a better offense in Arizona at home. and he came up with 21 points. He still struck out 6.
Yeah.
He's got to go. Thing is that he's got to go 6 innings or 7 innings, So I think that for the Cardinals, if on the other side, one-offs I like too. So you could stack it though, if they go out with Fowler, Carpenter and Fowler 1-2, that's a good mini stack right there. 2 lefties against Nola. That's how they're going to probably lead off,
Right?
Because he's not very good against lefties. So that's how I would do it. And I guess if he goes at least 6 or 7 innings, he's viable.
Yeah, it's possible, and he's only 7-7 on FanDuel. Gives you access. You ready to talk about the main slate here?
Yeah, let's go to the main slate.
Right, let's take a look. Looks like we got Mike Clevenger of the Cleveland Indians visiting Wade Miley of the Baltimore Orioles. Up until tonight with Carrasco and what's his name? Gascan, actually. Gausman. This has been like just a runs phenomenon. So, what's going on, man?
Yeah, this game, I put them down. Obviously, the Indians they're hot too, so you could play them. Wade Miley, he's one of those pitchers. Once again, somehow he gets it done. I can't believe he's still in the league. 478 Sierra, 352 Woba versus righties. So, target him with, guys like, Lindor hit a home run today. E5 is one of the hottest players in the league right now. So I say Ramirez, also another good play. They're pretty expensive, but there's not a ton of real expensive pitchers today, so you'll be able to get the bats that you want. So yeah, keep riding these Indians until they get out of Baltimore, because also remember, the Baltimore bullpen is terrible. On the flip side, Clevenger isn't gonna fool anybody either. He's okay, but so if you want to play, the Orioles, Seth Smith, Machado, Jones, go for it. Trumbo, Mancini. This is a decent game stack.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I think you could certainly buy into this. But both of these teams have the power. I know Cleveland, they struggle from time to time against lefties, but they still don't strike out, so they're still going to put the ball in play. And E5 is just red hot right now. I don't think you can get away from him.
Yeah, Cleveland's been better against lefties though in the last few months. I think they started out really cold. That's the thing. They've moved up.
Yeah, no, they've improved and they're not striking out, but their WOBA numbers overall as a lineup against a lefty is still kind of low for them. Because when they're against a righty, they have one of the highest WOBAs in the league. They're typical righty versus righty lineup. But whenever there's a lefty in the ball game, their WOBA numbers drastically drop down to around like the 330 range, which isn't bad. It's not like horrible, but it's not as good as the 350, 360 that they're normally at against righties. And they got guys like Dan Robertson who might play, and they not that big of a difference, but like in Lindor, for instance, he has pretty significant numbers, lefty righty. Kipnis is a big bat, and like Kipnis actually does pretty decent against lefty, surprisingly. But still, if you're playing the numbers game, it's unattractive to see Kipnis leading off, lefty against another lefty. But yeah, this is a good spot to do it. And plus, who's to say Miley's going to last in this game? If they don't strike out, then they're either going to get on base or Miley's going to have a good game, but putting the ball in play. So if they're getting on base and Miley's pitch count is up, like you said, you get real upside with this bullpen. So yeah, I think I like the Cleveland side more just because of that. I think there's more upside there, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if you want to go down to Yan Gomes,
right?
He's going to be playing. He hits lefty pitchers really well.
That's a good point.
And then if Austin Jackson, if he bats ninth, you could have a great 9-1-2. I don't know. I know it's always it's low percentage, but I always seem to have one of my teams always seems to have a 9-1-2 stack, because you seem to always have a value guy at the 9 spot, like a catcher, and then you have a good guy leading off if you can somehow, then the 2-hitter, so something like that, 9-1-2-3 could be good, because you have 2 cheap guys with 2 rather expensive guys. So it's something to look at. It's a different strategy, and it's a way to get contrarian but still stay on the highest run total game.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got Fuego's boy Jesse Chavez of Los Angeles Angels visiting Paulie's New York Yankees with Luis Severino.
Yes, yes, we were hoping maybe Fuego takes the drive up to the Bronx to see his son pitch for the Angels against
Anyway,
this team. And the thing about it is that he's got his Sierra against his Sierra is 4.69, and he's got a 3.72 WOBA against righty hitters. Conversely, the Yankees just crush righties. They're the number one offense against righties in WOBA. So, guys like Judge, Holiday, Castro, Sanchez, all four righties in a row would be good. And don't forget, obviously, it's not like lefties can't hit Chavez. I mean, come on now. I mean, even Fuego, even Chavez's dad will tell him that lefties can hit him too. Okay, so, I mean, believe me, don't get me wrong. Fuego's happy that his son is in the majors, okay, but he will definitely tell you what his shortcomings are. So, yeah, I'm telling you, totally Yankees. And on the other side, Severino is 9.8K. He's under 10K. He's a big favorite. So people might go to them in cash. And the Angels, they should be getting crushed, and they're not. And and to me, it's frustrating. The last few days, it hasn't produced what we thought that they would. So I'm not saying, I think Severino's to me is more of a GPP play. There's other guys I like in cash better, but because he's favored, if you wanted to go with cash, I wouldn't hate it. And, as for the Angel side, there's nobody. I'll go other places.
yeah, man, I'm with you. I don't like the Angels at all. I actually do like Severino. I got to do some more research tomorrow, but I'm not in love with him. But obviously, he's got the upside. He's got the K upside you're looking for. He's a pretty big favorite, 3.6 run projection on the other side. I know the Angels don't strike out a ton, but they can if Severino is on. If Severino's on and he's not walking people, Severino's swinging strike rate looks really good right now. His hard contact rates even look good, considering normally he has a problem the lefties, and 31%. That's not too bad. But his swinging strike rate over the last 2 years at home has been 9.9. This year at home, it's 11.7. So he's pitching better. It's legit. So I don't mind Severino. He's 9.8, so he's up there. And there's a lot of bats we want to pay for. It's going to be hard to fit some of these Yankees because I really love the Yankees in this spot against Fuego's Jesse Chavez. That guy he's got terrible road numbers the last couple of years. He's having a decent year. Don't get me wrong. Somehow he's not getting tagged like he has in the past. But I mean, I'm going to stick with a larger sample here with a guy like him. I don't think he's doing anything particular. His hard contact rates are still really high, both lefties and righties, above 35%, I think. So yeah, I love the Yankees, and they're probably going to be chalky, but that's okay because we've seen the Yankees be chalk before and still come through.
And you can, like I said, you can differentiate yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like today, the only guy hit a home run, I think it was Gregorius, right?
No. Holiday hit a home run.
Oh, Holiday hit a home run too. Okay. Well, either way.
But you could go. Chris Carter. He's dirt cheap. Like that, or like I said, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the righties.
Sure. All right, we got Jake Arrieta of the Chicago Cubs visiting Jeff Locke of the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, well, probably roof will be closed. I'm pretty sure.
Fortunately.
Yeah. Jeff Locke is a guy that faced the Cubs not too long ago, and so that doesn't bode well for a guy that does not have stuff that blows it by people. So the more you see a pitcher that doesn't have stuff that, fastball that throws 95 or above, it's easier to hit. So I don't mind, looking at the Cubs here. Even Anthony Rizzo, even though he's a lefty, the guy's just smoking hot right now. And, guys like Happ, Bryant Contreras is only 2.7 as a catcher. I like this. And on the other side, I like the lefty bats against Arrieta. Arrieta doesn't scare me anymore. I think he's lost his mystique. I'm not looking to pick on. I'm not looking to really, pick on him with a stack. But I'm not playing him in cash. Maybe GPPs, but I just think that there's better options.
Yeah, man. I'm with you on the Cubs bats against Locke. I think Javi Baez might play, could be some value. More these guys. Wilson Contreras really good against lefties. Chris Bryant obviously. Hap's been playing extremely well. And like you said, man, Rizzo's going to be the guy. If people stack him, Rizzo's going to be the guy people skip for two reasons. One, because he's 4'8" on FanDuel. I'm sure he's expensive on DraftKings too. And two, because he's a lefty. But listen, man, if you're going to stack, all I'm saying is if you're going to stack, don't leave Rizzo out because he's leadoff. So he's going to get the most at-bats on the team. And they're on the road too. So he's going to get all his at-bats. And Locke, man, like if they get to Locke, which they should, then it's all bullpen from there. And Miami does not have a good bullpen. And then you got Rizzo, own part of a stack, and he's going to go off with the stack. If the Cubs win, I think if the Cubs do well, if they go off, I think Rizzo's going to have a piece in that.
Yeah, I mean, you keep on waiting. You really keep on waiting for this Cubs offense to just explode on somebody, and you keep on trying. I want to get a piece. And it just never seems to happen. And I'm looking up Locke's numbers just on like what he's been doing. Okay, first of all, he's the lowest pitcher on the slate tomorrow at 6,200. That should tell you something. And his last four starts, 18, 16, 14, and 35. He hasn't gone more than 5 2/3 innings in any four of his starts.
Right.
So he's not destined for this game. So you might have to, last a few innings, maybe first time around the order. But once he gets on second or third time, that stack might be paying off.
All right, we got Matt Cain of the San Francisco Giants visiting Jaime Garcia, the lefty from the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I never thought in a million years I would be saying this, but, each slate its own, but I actually like Jaime Garcia tomorrow. He is going against a team that is 29th in the majors against lefties. So, and they have their best hitters, except for Posey, are pretty much lefties. Span, Belt, Crawford, all lefties. So I don't mind Jaime Garcia here. He's 8,000. He's probably the cheapest that I would go on the slate. So yeah, I like personally Jaime Garcia at 8,000. Do it. And on the other side, Matt Cain is just garbage. I mean, his Sierra is 545, and his WOBA against righties is 353. That's righties. So lefties in that ballpark, I stack the Braves. I think they're going to be low owned too. And I think that Garcia is going to be overlooked too. And so Garcia is going to allow you to get some bigger bats in your lineup. So yeah, don't overlook this game at all.
Yeah, man, I love the Braves bats for sure. I'm not as big on Jaime Garcia just because it's an upside thing. But at the same time, I'm not really gonna pick on him either. I'm definitely with you on the Braves though. I think Matt Cain, he kind of hides behind that stadium out in San Francisco, and he's been he's been evading, getting blown up, and all this. But you're coming to Atlanta. You're a right-handed pitcher. There's a guy named Matt Adams waiting to tee off against you with this new stadium that was built for Freddie Freeman. So
here's the thing.
The Braves.
Here's the thing is that I don't think that there's a pitcher on the slate that can get 60 tomorrow unless obviously it can happen, but generally speaking, I don't think that there's a pitcher that can get you that. Oh. So Garcia is a guy that, I don't think he's going to, I don't think it's that. I know it's not sexy. So he might get you 35, but that's not bad.
No. Don't get me wrong. My issue with Garcia is ceiling. So, you're right. There might not be a guy. There's no guarantee that any of these guys are going to hit 60. You're right. Pineda's probably what the top pitcher going, but Pineda can hit 60. Mm-hmm. So it's I would prefer. It's there's other guys that I think that, don't get me wrong. I'm not really interested in Arrieta at all, but Severino even. If I think he has a shot to get 60, then I'd rather be at him because I know that Jaime's not. I think that if Jaime has a good game, which he could, it's he's going to get you 35, 36. The Giants don't strike out all that much. So don't get me wrong. It's nothing against Jaime himself. And the price is right. You can load up on some bats. But But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just not in love with him in this spot.
Mm.
It's ballpark. Giants. I just don't see. I don't see the ceiling here. You know what I mean? But I definitely love the bats, man. I really do. And I
Good.
don't think people are gonna play them. I really don't. People
Yeah,
just never really play the Braves.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. We got Steven Matz of the New York Mets, my New York Mets, visiting Hyunjin Ryu, the lefty, from your Patio Joe's Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, I was kind of taken aback because on one of the sites, Baseball Savant I used has Alex Wood starting tomorrow. So, but then I'm looking at FanDuel and they got Ryu and they got, they got everybody else has got Ryu starting. So, Ryu is a lefty. The Mets don't hit lefties very well. I'm still not really playing him because he ain't going to go more than 5 or 6 innings at the most. Then they're going to go over to that pen. Obviously he's a favorite, but Steven Matz is another guy that I think it's going to be. He's very sneaky. You can go either way on him. You can snack against him if you wanted to pitch him. Nobody's going to have him. So, yeah. But if for some reason Alex Wood does start, he's my cash game pitcher tomorrow. That's why I liked him. So I don't know why Baseball Savant says this, but that's what they said. So I was all prepared for that. But yeah. Yeah. So Dodger bats, you can go either way. One-offs because they will have their lefties, their lefty specialists. Forsythe, Kike, Chris Taylor. There's some other guys that'll move up and play, probably hit up in the order. Puig.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely. I'm wondering the same thing because it looks like on our model, which we updated with FanDuel, probably like an hour ago, had Alex Wood. So evidently FanDuel did have Alex Wood up there originally. I guess,
some point.
Yeah, at some point. So now I'm seeing it looks like Ryu, and you mentioned that FanDuel now has Ryu up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I just looked.
So I guess he's going to be the guy. I would imagine that it must have been a late change. He's the guy.
7,000.
It's two totally different worlds because I don't think Vegas has caught up to that. I'd be surprised if this line stays at 194 for the Dodgers. I have a feeling this line is going to move. And matter of fact, you know what? I'm looking at the model and it's X'd out. All the Vegas stats just updated and it's X'd out. So I think they took the line down. So a new line is going to come out. Because Alex Wood is a very good lefty against a team that can't hit lefties, and then you have Ryu, who is a very bad lefty. Well, listen, I'm not hating on the guy, but he's been bad this year, and that's two totally different lefties. So, like, if it's Ryu, I actually have some interest in these Mets because, listen, it's not a homer thing. It's just nobody's going to play them because the Dodgers have owned them. And you mentioned Steven Matz. I think that's a great call. I think he could be sneaky. Now, listen, that doesn't mean that I don't like the Dodger bats because I do. Because even if Matz goes, the Mets bullpen has just been terrible. So you have to have interest there. But if Steven Matz is a lefty, they do have lefty specialists, Logan Forsythe. But like Justin Turner has reverse splits. Corey Seager's a lefty. Bellinger's a lefty. That's three big bats right there. That like. Not that it helps. They can still hit a home run. Don't get me wrong. But like you prefer it that way. Let's just say that you prefer it that way. So I think if Ryu is the starter, then you can play some of these Mets bats. A lot of them are cheap, so nobody will because they don't really have to. Well, unless you play Severino, I guess. I guess you might have to. But yeah, man, I think Mats could be sneaky. At the same time, I don't mind the Dodger bats because I'm not in love with Mats in this spot. So I think the Dodger bats could be, they're cheap. If you got to go cheap, Logan Forsythe and Gutierrez are great value against Steven Matz, who just got bombed in his last start. So yeah.
Yeah, I think here's why I think Ryu's starting is the Rockies are coming in town on Friday night against the Dodgers, and it's basically for first place.
Yep.
Kershaw's throwing Saturday. I think they want Wood to be pushed back to go against. The Dodgers have already taken at least three of four against them.
Right.
So why the Rockies lost tonight against the D-backs. So if you think about it, just they're pushing Wood back a day, and it totally seems logical why they would do that.
Yeah.
Because then you have Wood Friday. You have Wood Friday night. Kershaw Saturday night, McCarthy Sunday
against one of the teams
against the
with one of
Rockies.
the best records in baseball.
Yeah, so you have to look at it now. we're totally taking away DFS and fantasy out of this. This is baseball strategy now, trying to win your division.
Yep, 100%. Great point. All right, we got, I think it's the last game here on the slate. We got Daniel Norris, the lefty from the Detroit Tigers, visiting Andrew Moore. Don't know who that is, of the Seattle Mariners.
Andrew Moore. Let's see. Well, the funny thing is that Detroit's only got 4.5 run total, so they must be giving this guy some credit. Gene Segura is back playing. He's only 3.5 at shortstop. Daniel Norris, it does not scare anybody. He's thinking hot garbage, too. So, I don't mind going up against him. The thing is that I think that there's just kind of other places to go tomorrow. But you can always go with the bats of Detroit, too. We don't know anything about this guy Moore. I don't know. He doesn't really have probably much stats to go by. Let's see. Let me look at what the model says about him. Is he even on there?
No, there's no salary for him anyway.
Yeah. So he doesn't even have a salary.
Nope.
So, I just think guys that don't have salaries, I don't know. How good can he be?
You know what they say about guys without salaries? You can't play them.
Yeah, you can't play him. You can't play him. That's true. You can't play him, so you can't play him.
That's it. That's what they say about those guys.
Yeah, that's what they say. So I say, get on the bandwagon of get on the Tigers. They're gonna blow up one of these days. I really thought it was gonna happen this week, but it just hasn't.
Yeah, I mean they did. They didn't blow him up, but they did okay against Paxton tonight. So I think that shows some promise because Paxton, I know he's been struggling since he come back, but he is pretty good. Now Andrew Moore, from what I've seen, I don't know how much of a prospect, but he is a prospect, so he's somebody that's supposed to be good. Still though, he's a rookie. It's a powerful offense, and he has no salary, so you can't play him. And on top of that, there's a bad Seattle bullpen behind him, so you have to wonder how long they're going to let him go. This kind of seems more like they needed somebody to fill in a space. So let's just try this rookie out, see how he does. Apparently, he's from Eugene, Oregon, so he's from like 5 hours away from the stadium. I just read it real quick just now while you were talking. So, yeah, it's like you're right. I think it's interesting that the Dodgers are 4.5 under. I'm sorry, not the Dodgers. The Tigers are 4.5 projected for 4.5 runs, and they're underdogs. So they are showing this kid some respect. So that might be enough to scare me off the Tigers a little bit. But, I mean, if you're thinking just logically for ceiling, the Tigers are one of those teams. Hypothetically, if they get to more, then they get access to the Seattle bullpen early, and then it could be a long night for Seattle fans in general. So I see the merit for sure. But it seems fishy, though, right? Like, Daniel Norris is a lefty. He's established. He's coming off a decent start, and, like, he's an underdog to this guy nobody ever heard of, Andrew Moore. I'm sure Seattle fans know who he is. I'm sure they know who he is.
Sure.
Anyway, man, that was cool. That was nice and quick. 2 quick slates. You ready to play some Dog Watch?
Yeah, I did want to say one thing. Now that I had Alex Wood in cash tomorrow, but obviously he's not going to be pitching. So I think tomorrow I would have to pivot to Severino.
Yeah.
If you're going to play cash now, just because 6-game slate, if you don't play cash, it's not a big deal. You could just go and play GPPs. If you do want to play cash, it's Severino's the highest favorite, so it just seems like that's the way to go. I guess you could go Arrieta too, but he just isn't the same. And then I don't know, I like Jaime Garcia, and I never say that. I don't like this kid. So I know the Giants don't strike out, but I know if you look on this slate now, look at the pitchers. Without Wood, it
is a bad slate. It is pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, the morning slate's a lot better.
Yeah. No, you're right. Especially without Wood here, it gets pretty ugly because you can't even trust Arrieta anymore. So Severino is probably going to be the chalk, rightfully so. I think. All right, man. So let's play some Dong Watch and call it a night. So go ahead. First pick. What do you got here?
Brian Dozier has 4 home runs off of Quintana.
Ooh. Dozier with the BVP call. BVP. All right, let's see here. I am going to stick with these Yankee bats. I'm going to pick, oh man, this like just which one of them? That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got to go with my man. We got to go with my man Aaron Judge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like obvious, right? And then back him up. Do I take Gary the GOAT? Eventually, we're going to have to do vetoes. I know like the chat's always on us about vetoes. And eventually, we'll implement that once we get things rolling. But there's none now. And I'm going with Gary the GOAT as my second pick.
All right. And mine two are going to be Mr. E5 Edwin Encarnacion.
Okay, he's been hot.
And that's right. I ain't going to go off the kid just because of lefties pitching. All right.
Sure.
This kid hit one 400 feet off of Andrew Miller, all right, last week, and then came up against Boone Logan, another lefty, and hit one 420 feet. Okay. Bellinger, don't care, Steven Matz. I got Cody Bellinger hitting another home run tomorrow.
Just a one day break, and he's going to go right back to it.
Exactly.
Go right back
he had a double tonight, you know?
Yeah, but, it wouldn't be fair if he had a home run every game. So once in a while, you got to settle for a double. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy is that the kid's only 21.
Oh, yeah.
That's
insane.
what you project him if he stays healthy.
Oh, man, forget about
Mr.
it.
Bonds. Hello, Mr. Bonds. You project him, he stays healthy.
With or without the PEDs?
Yeah. Oh, my God. He's skinny. I mean, God, it's crazy.
So was Bonds, though, back in the day, man. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
God, Bonds. He could not throw out Sid Bream from left field. That's what I remember most again. That's the worst thing that you could say about Barry Bonds. That's worse than the steroids. You could not throw out Sid Bream from left field. Sid Bream. I could run faster backwards.
Oh, God.
Like, if you ever saw that play, if you run by, like they get the base hit and you see Sid Bream coming around third base, and it is like, I think I did like 15 push-ups in between him coming around third base, getting to home. Like, he is just slower than mud, and Bonds couldn't throw him out. Unbelievable. 1991, everybody, if it's a little bit too young, all you millennials, that was 1991. Braves, Pirates in the NLCS.
Little bit of history there from Patio Joe. Barry Bonds history coming at you.
That's right.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. It was a lot of fun, man. We got a lot of great stuff going. And, yeah, man, thanks. Fun as always.
That was a good time.
Yeah, man. So that's going to do it for the week. Oh, no. We got another show tomorrow. Oh, no, we have a show tomorrow. And Patio Joe, you are hosting the show tomorrow.
That's right. That's right, everybody. First time.
Right. Yes, I will
That's
not
right.
be on the
First
show.
time. Who knows?
Hey, it's the first
We
time.
might get a little crazy tomorrow night. All right.
Oh no. I think I listen. I hired Joe to host the podcast, not Audi.
Okay, but I'll tell you what, we have fun.
I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna be there.
All right, yeah. I'll tell you what, Saturday though, these might be coming out on Saturday when we do the weekend show with Paulie
Man,
D.
listen, if it came out tomorrow, I guess there's really nothing I could do about it because I'm not gonna be here. So
Yeah, that's right. And if it gets double the plays, you're gonna say keep the glasses.
That's it, brother. That's it, man. No, and all, it's your show tomorrow, brother. So listen, make sure you tune in tomorrow night. Check it out, man. It's gonna be a new vibe. Whenever there's a new host, there's a new vibe. And I know Patio Joe's been he's the funny guy. So definitely want to check out tomorrow's show. I'll be watching for sure. I'll be excited to watch. Anyway, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that like button. The thumbs up means a lot to us. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Podbean, the audio-only version, give us a follow. If you're listening on iTunes for the audio-only version as well, subscribe to the channel there. Give us some positive reviews, 5-star reviews. Bump us up those charts. It really means a lot to us. Anyway, I will be back on Sunday night for the WiseTake Live show. So have a good weekend from here on out. But you guys, again, there will be a show tomorrow. A very special show with a very special host. Patio Joe, Audie Fulton. I guess you have to find out tomorrow. Anyway, guys, for Joe, for myself, as always, good luck.
Peace.